Welcome to a video about trading basics. And just a disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. It's not financial advice. Go to a financial professional for financial advice, and 90% of them will lose your money. But anyway, so this is, I just want to give you an idea about how to trade stocks, and I'm going to give you different ways of doing that. Okay. So different ways. Actually, there are two ways just using the stock, which is buy the stock. And in technical terms or jargon, lingo, trading lingo, it's called going long the stock. When you buy the stock first and then you sell it, it's just called sell. So let me just show you an example over here. Let's just say that you bought the stock over here, somewhere over here, let's say 32 or something, and then you sold it for, let's say, over here for $40. Okay. Just to keep it easy, $42, let's just say, right? So $10 profit. So you bought over here and you sold. So that is first one way to do it. And most of the people are familiar with this. You're buying it and then you're selling it. Okay. Simple as that. Now, so that's the one that we just talked about. I keep losing my pointer. My pen, the battery is down. Okay, now I see where it is. All right, good. So we did this one. Now the second one, this might be a little challenging for some people to understand, but just think of this as the process is reversed. So when you actually don't have the stock, you're selling the stock first. Okay. It is called shorting the stock, and then you buy the stock back, and it's called covering the short. Forget the technical jargon for a second. Just let me just show you. So what you're doing is, let's say over here, you sold the stock first, and then that was, let's say, whatever, 68 or something, and then you bought it back, let's say, at 58. Again, you making a $10 profit. Okay. So this is the second way, which is you sell first, then you buy it. The first way was this: you bought, then you sold. Okay. 32, 42, $10 profit. Okay. So this is, I think most people do understand this. So, and this might be a little tricky, but we're just reversing the process. So 68, you sold it, then you bought it back at 58, which is again a $10 profit. And you might be wondering, why am I using 68, 58, or 32, 42? You could use any numbers. I'm just giving you an example, okay? So just to recap, first step is you buy it and then you sell it, okay? Second is you actually reversing the process. You're selling it and then you're buying it back, okay? So this is important. You need to understand this because everything is based on this. So let's go back. So that is the two ways that you could trade using stocks. Okay. Now, simple, right? Well, why should we complicate things? Well, but when we use options, actually options can make things a lot more lucrative. Your profits, you're going to make a lot of money. Okay. So four ways using options. So, but before I tell you how to use the options, you need to understand what is a put option and what is a call option. So, call options, basic. So, let's say buying a house. Okay. Let me move this over here. So, let's say the house cost $100,000. Okay. Now, Sam is owns the house, he's selling the house, and Bob is the buyer. Now, Bob comes to Sam and says, "Hey, you know what? I don't have money right now, $100,000, but I will buy your house in 30 days. Can you hold the house for me? And don't show it to anyone, don't sell it to anyone." Sam is like, what's in it for me? Why would I hold the house for you for 30 days? So then Bob says, you know what? I'll give you $1,000. Okay. So after 30 days, if I buy the house, you keep the $1,000 plus you're gonna get 100,000. So Sam is happy. Okay. Um, so let's look at the scenarios over here. Okay. So first scenario is Bob buys the house. So Bob is actually paying 100,000 plus $1,000. That was the options premium. So both Bob and Sam are happy. Okay. Now, second situation is Bob doesn't buy the house. Something happens. Let's say Bob didn't get the money, or this could be situation where, let's say, there was some toxic chemical that were discovered under the house, and so now the house is worth nothing. The price drops to zero. So in both the situations, doesn't matter why, Bob doesn't buy the house. Guess what? Sam still gets to keep the $1,000. Okay. Now, a situation happens where, let's say, the people start digging and they say, oh, the nasty gas smell. It's actually, there is a lot of oil under your house. So the price of the house skyrockets to $1 million. Guess what? Bob can still buy the house for $100,000. Okay. And Sam has no right. So the seller of the option has only obligation. So Sam is obliged to sell the house for $100,000 no matter what. But Bob, the buyer of the house, the one that has bought the call option, does not have any obligation. He has the right. So if the price of the house drops to zero, he can just walk away. Bob can walk away, but he just loses only $1,000. Okay. Or if the price of the house skyrockets to $1 million, Bob can still buy it for $1,000, 100,000. So this is important to understand because I'm going to be using stocks to show this. Okay. So let's look at the stocks to see how this works in the stock market. Let's go back. All right. Now, looking at the stocks. So again, same thing, Bob and Sam, right? I keep losing this. Okay, now I found it, right? So think in terms of, like the same stock, okay? So that I'm just going to make this over here using the options is, let's say this is at $40. The $40 call option, Bob has bought that $40 call option, which means Sam has sold it. And now the price of the stock goes to, let's say, whatever, this is 48. But Bob has the right to buy it at $40. Okay. So Sam has the obligation. So Sam has to sell it, even though the price of the stock is at 48. So Sam still needs to sell the stock for $40. Okay. As you can see, a few days later, the price drops to 32. Now, Sam Sam gets to keep the $1,000 because now Bob is not going to buy the stock for $40 because it is trading at $32. Okay, so understand this, that the call option gives you the call option is actually gives you the ability to control at what price you're going to be buying it, the buyer of the call option. Okay. Now let's look at the put option. Okay. Put option is, oh, sorry, sell option. Instead of sell, it should be put option. Okay. Sorry about that. So think in terms of car insurance, buying car insurance. So Brittany owns the car. The cost of the car is $10,000. Okay. And by the way, if you can see why I'm using the names B, B is for buyer. So Brittany, B buyer, and try to cover both, males and females. So, and seller Susan, so starts with an S. Okay. So Brittany owns the car. The price of the car is $10,000 and the insurance premium is $100 per month. Okay. So three scenarios. Okay. Nothing happens to Brittany's car, so Susan keeps the insurance premium of $100. Susan is happy. She made $100. Brittany is okay, she's like, okay, she's happy to pay the premium. Now, second scenario, Brittany gets into a car accident and the cost to fix the car is $2,000. Now, again, Susan has sold the insurance, so she's obligated. Again, the seller of options are obligated to do things. Buyers don't have any obligations. Okay. So Susan has to pay, and this is like $100 is full coverage. There's no deductible, just to keep things simple. But hopefully, Susan has sold many such policies to be able to cover her losses by getting premiums from others. Okay. And third scenario is even worse, where Brittany's car is stolen and then Susan has to pay $10,000. Okay. So, but again, hopefully Susan has sold many such policies to cover this. Okay. Let's look at the same situations, same thing using stocks. Okay. So basically, people buy puts as a insurance premium, right? As an insurance against fluctuations in the stock market. Okay. So again, let's just look at Brittany. Brittany bought 50 put because she was holding the stock and she didn't want anything, if anything happens, it should be covered. So when the stock price kept dropping, Brittany is happy because Susan is the one that has guaranteed that she will buy the stock at $50. Okay. So when the seller of the put, the person that sells the put, is obligated to buy the stock at the strike price. I understand that this might be a little confusing, so I'm going to show you this using Interactive Brokers. So we're going to go to the live, not exactly live because it's kind of at night, but you'll get some idea. So let's go over here. So what do you do? How do you, do this thing? Um, so in Interactive Brokers, depending upon who your broker is, I'm just using an empty page. So you can click on the plus sign to create an empty page. And I highly recommend that you use UPRO. So I type UPRO over here. So it picks up UPRO. Okay. And then when you right click on this, you have, you can say buy. Okay. So this is 100 and GTC is good till canceled and 44.47. That's the price I'm going to be buying it at. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm thinking, you know what, I don't really want to pay 44.47. I think it's going to come down. So I say, you know what, I'm going to buy it for $40. Okay. And then I hit transfer. Right. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about that because, I'm using a different account. So that's what you do. And then let me open up a different one so we won't get the error message, the one that we just got. So let's just say we're just opening a page. We'll just call it AA. So we just type in, if I were to type in UPRO, there are other orders that will come up. So I'm just going to type in TQQ, but you don't use TQQ, use UPRO. Okay. So when you type in the name, you come up with that. And this is, see, I have UPRO orders already open. So, that's why I didn't type in UPRO. Okay. Because then they would pop up. So again, you right click on this and you say buy, you can buy it. And so I don't want to buy it at 33. Let's say I want to buy it at 30. So I put 30, this will be fine because there is no problem with this. Okay, so 30, so this is the first, you remember what we were doing? This is the first thing, like buy the stock and then sell the stock. So this is what we're doing, buying it, and then as you can also put in, attach an order and then say, you know what, sell it at $60. Once I bought it at 30, I want to double my money. So this, okay, that's what you're doing. Okay, right? So that's, so we did exactly what this was. So buy the stock and then sell the stock. Okay, so that's number one we just did in Interactive Brokers. I'm just going to cancel both of these and we're going to do the reverse. Okay, like the reverse is sell the stock, we're shorting it, and then buy the stock. It is short covering, covering the stock. So what you do is you sell the stock first. And again, I'm just putting the prices that are way above the market because I don't want it to get executed. So we're doing the first thing, which is selling it. Okay. Yeah. That. So, okay. Then we will buy this back for, it's the same thing, $30. Ignore this. This is because it's in the cancellation process, so it's still popping up over here. Okay. All right. So that's what it is. So this is the reverse of what we did, which is sell first and then buy. Okay. So we just did this, the second part. Okay. And if you are still not sure, rewatch the video, you'll be able to understand this. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing using options. Okay. So just like I said over here, you want to buy it first at $30. Okay. So what are we going to do? How do we buy it at $30? So A is either we put the order that, GTC, which is good till canceled, $30. You want to buy it for $30. But the market is not there yet. So you'll be waiting. Okay. Now, you could say, okay, I'm fine waiting, but what if you got paid when you're waiting? Okay. So how do we do that? You want to get paid while you're waiting, right? So what we do is we go to here and we say we buy a put for $30. We sell a put for $30. Okay. So 2 days from today, it's expiring. We're gonna get 17 cents. 17 cents is like $17 that you're gonna get. So I do this, I click on this, and I'm just going to put a ridiculously high price because I don't want it. I mean, again, the market is not open, so it will, 17. You can see 17 is the bid, 18 is the ask. So if you were to put 17, you're guaranteed to sell it because you're putting it lower than. But if you put it 18, which is the ask, may or may not get filled. Okay. So when you are trying to sell it, try to go for the bid, then you'll get hit or you'll get executed. Uh, you might have to wait if you set the selling price at 18 cents. By the way, again, let me repeat this. So when you want to buy, like, I put the order over here. And again, rewatch this as many times as you want because this might, it's okay if you want to rewatch it. The reason I'm selling a put for $30 is because I want to buy the stock at $30. That's why I'm selling a put for $30. Okay. So this is what the order looks like. So you're buying it at $30. So remember that. Then once it has happened, let's say it gets executed, let's say once you get the stock, and look at this uh the expiration is August 12th. So it will expire on August 12th. So on August 12th, different possibilities. Okay. If TQQ is below $30 or below 30 or below 30, then you will get 100 shares. Each option is 100 shares. 100 shares of TQQ, you'll be buying it basically. The process is automatic. You don't have to do anything. The shares are just put to you, meaning you have those shares. Okay. Then once you have those shares, all right, once you have those shares, see, so the first part is done. Once you have those shares, then you can sell that stock. Then you sell a call on that. Okay. Now, what if the stock price of TQQ is about $30? So you get to keep that 17 cents premium that you're getting. Let me show it to you again over here, 17 cents premium. Okay. Nothing happened. You got paid $17. You keep doing it again and again. Keep doing it. You keep collecting the premium. Okay. And once it is, let's say you now hold the stock for $30 and you want to sell it for 32 or 35, sorry. So then you sell, look at this, you sell this, the call, because you already have shares. Okay. So you will be selling it, let's say, again, you want to take the lower price because then you will be able to sell the call option. Okay. So this is imagining that you already own the stock, then you selling the call option. Never sell. So when you don't own the stock and you sell the call option, it is called a naked call option. And when you own the stock, then you sell the call. It is called covered call option. That's what you want to do. You want to do covered calls, not naked calls. Okay. All right. So that is this part that we just did these two. Okay. And again, feel free to watch it again and again to get it. That's why there's this video. Okay. Now this is shorting the stock. This is the same thing, shorting the stock, but you're doing it through options. So in this, the first step is you actually short the stock, meaning you sell 100 shares of that. And then the next step, which is covering the short, which is you sell a put against the shorted stock. Okay. So let me show it to you over here. I'm just going to cancel these because you have an understanding of that now. So what we are doing over here is you are basically doing this. You're selling. I'm just going to cancel this. So you sold it, let's say at $60. Okay. Then what you're doing is whatever you sold it for, that's good. And in shorting, you want to sell high and buy low. Okay, just the process reverse. You understand that you're buying high, sorry, buying low and selling high. In shorting, you want to do the reverse, which is sell high and buy low. Okay, so you already, let's say, sold it, meaning shorted the stock for whatever price it is. Let's just say, to keep it simple over here, we'll just make it 35. Okay. Then once you have sold it, then you go over here. So again, you are already short that. So what you're doing is you're going here and you're selling a put for $35. So you're getting the premium. Again, the premium is quite large because the market is not there yet. And which price you're gonna pick? 194 or 2? I mean, if you'll get hit right away, but you can play with this. You can start with $2 and see if you're selling it. And if it doesn't happen, then you keep lowering the price. You can play with that. So, okay, transmit it. And again, the options market is not open, so none of these are gonna get executed, right? So that's it. Okay, let me recap quickly. So the way you can play or you can trade in the stock market is, one is simple, which is, buy it at a certain price over here, let's say 32, and I mean, so you're buying it over here 32 and you're selling it at, let's say, 42 over here. Okay. So that's one way. Or the other is you're selling it here. Let's say this was what, 68. You're selling first and then you bought it, let's say, for 58. Okay. Buy, sell, sell, buy. And again, the same things we're doing using options. And in options, what you do is you sell a put first. See, these two are actually to do this one. Okay. So sell a put first, and then you sell a call once you have bought the stock. Okay. These two things are actually covering the second step. Okay. So you're first shorting the stock, then selling a put against it, and when the put gets exercised, you make money. So the advantage of options is if nothing happens, you're collecting the premium. Okay, so you're still making money if nothing happens. Versus in the stocks, let's say if the stock price is at 35, you want to buy it at 30. Guess what? You put a GTC order, good till cancel, but you're still waiting. You're not making any money. Versus if you were to sell a put, you're collecting the premium, and you can do it multiple times. There's no limit to it. And guess what? That you're just collecting the money for free. And also, let's say once you bought the stock at $30 and you want to sell it for 35, you put the GTC order for 35. What if never gets there? You're still not making money. But worse, if you were to sell a call, you're still collecting the premium even if nothing happens. But one of the drawback of options is, let's say if the price of the stock goes down to, like, you have put the order to buy it at 30 and it goes down to 30. So it's a GTC order. It gets executed, meaning you have the stock. But for options, it needs to go to 30 or 30 below 30, like 29.99 or anything lower than that on the day of expiration at 3:01, which is, Central Time. That's when the option expires. Okay. If it fluctuates up and down, doesn't matter. What is the price at 3:01 Central Time, or actually 3 o'clock exactly Central Time? That's what is important. If it is below that, then you get that stock. If not, you don't get it. But you've kept the premium, so no big deal. Right. Same thing when you're selling the call, which is, let's say you bought the stock at 30, you want to sell it for 35, and you sold a 35 call. On the day of expiration, at the time of expiration, it is not above 35, your stock is not sold. But you don't care because you collected the premium. Again, don't think in terms of buying companies, think in terms of making money. Also, think that you're not in the business of predicting. That is the beauty of options. Doesn't matter what happens. The stock goes up, down, you still make money because you're collecting premium. So this takes away the guesswork. Because the number one problem why people lose money in the stock market is because they're predicting what is going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then they lose money. Versus in options, even if it doesn't happen, you're still going to make money. And if it happens again, you're making money. So, you don't lose money. Anyway, so feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. All right. Thank you for watching this video. As I said, feel free to watch it again and again, and send me any questions. All right. Thank you. Bye. By the way, I kept repeating many, many times because I do understand that some of the concepts do need repeating. So watch it again and again. All right. Thank you. Bye.